And we are back. Welcome to another YouTube video, podcast, call it what you will. This is your host, Mike Cernovich. I need a haircut. I think my hair is funny because the internet is so hilarious. If you take, oh my god, if you take steroids you'll go bald, or if you take TRT you'll go bald, or look at this fucking mop, dude. And the hairline I have, I've always had kind of a V hairline. When I was a little kid, I used to be paranoid about going bald. I had like an Eddie Munster hairline. So, not going bald. I'm actually off TRT now because of Paris. You can't do any funny business here. So I am all natural. And I'm fine too. I'm not, they say, oh my god, if you go off TRT, what's going to happen? You're going to die. No, I'm fine. Do I wish of course, but that's got nothing to do with it. So before we talk about whatever it is we're going to talk about, and I don't know what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about two things. One is, so I got an iWatch, right? And some of you are going to say, oh, you're an eye sheep or whatever. And that's cool, you can call me, that doesn't hurt my feelings, but there's a marketing lesson. Why did I buy an iWatch? I bought an iWatch because Apple gave me something for free. Apple installed this health app on their iPhone. So they have this app now, and I didn't even know about it until someone told me about it. And it shows you, all your daily steps. So I started to become obsessed with like how many steps I got, and then I started to think, well, when I'm at the gym, and I'm doing overhead presses, I'm not fucking getting count. I'm not getting counted for that. I want that number, So I had to buy an iWatch. And I used to have, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I was an early adopter of the Nike Fitbit. It was like a little band, and it measures Nike units, whatever that means. But when my skin, you can still see it a little bit. So my skin is still fully healing. So I couldn't wear anything on my wrist. And now that I can, I got the watch. Do I care how much it costs? No. So there's two marketing lessons in one. I am what you call a value-conscious consumer. I'm not that cost-conscious. Now, would I buy an Apple Watch for $4,000? No, but I don't know. I said, how much is this? And she's like, the $399, $499, whatever. I just said, okay, People say, well, you can't, Apple's inferior on this. People like me just want shit to work. I have the brand new MacBook 12-inch thin. It's fucking amazing. I love it. I don't know what it costs. I think it was like $2,000, $2,100. I don't know. I'm too busy making money to worry about what things that I want and that help me make money make me money. So I'm the kind of people you want to market to. And that's the people I market to, right? If you want to market to people like me, you just give value. You give tremendous value, and then people who can afford you are just going to buy it. Now, not everybody can afford me. Most people can't, and that's cool too. I always have a low entry for people, but when you give value, even if it's just some dumb app like fucking Apple gave me, people who can afford you are happy to pay whatever it is that you want to charge. Those are the kind of people that you want to attract. You want to think about how you can attract them. The second thing I want to talk about is just how there really is abundance everywhere. Now me, I got this brand new shaker bottle. I was a Blender Bottle fan because when Blender Bottle came out, I knew, holy shit, this was going to be big. And it wasn't big because it had the little whisker that broke up the clumps, although that's nice. It became big because I don't know why I didn't fucking do it, and that's because I used to have a different mindset. I thought remember the Gorilla Money mindset? I thought like a consumer rather than a producer. Why, when I have a problem, don't I just think, well, I'll solve the problem because other people have it? I didn't have that mindset. And that's the shift you want to make, that money mindset shift, that gorilla money mindset shift is, if you have a problem, other people have it. So, I have a problem, this sucks. Great, fucking there's a bunch of other people have it. Go fucking find a way to fix it and sell it. And that's how I think now. Why did I start Danger and Play? One day I was reading Esquire and I was like, fuck this piece of shit magazine, GQ, fuck that website. They hire Gawker writers now to blast men. So I could just say, well, fuck these magazines, everybody hates men. Or I could just say, well, fuck, dude, I'll just start a competitor, right? And now I'm thinking, fuck Vice. Fuck all these. Vice started off cool, man. Those Vice Liberia specials were amazing. And now it's been co-opted by social justice warriors. So I'm like, well, fuck them. I'm going to start something else. Fuck them. That's how you want to think. Back to the bottle. I don't have any affiliate relationship with these people or whatever, but the old school protein powder bottles or shaker bottles, the guys will tell you, is they would never seal. And I never knew why that was. Why would you give me a bottle that wouldn't seal? Because if you need protein, you want to shake it up, right? And there would always leak. The blender bottle people sort of mastered that. They figured out how to market a bottle to people that didn't leak, and they sold it at a premium price. When blender bottles first came out, this is one of my only investment regrets, they sold on their website for $15. Like $15 for a shaker bottle. People like me were happy to pay $15 so we could wear a suit and drink a protein shake without, driving like this, wondering if it's going to leak all over us. We were value conscious. Like, yeah, we'll pay $15. Now you can get, they give them away free because they scaled their operations. And there was even a time if you bought like a jug of protein, you would get a free blender bottle, which was crazy. So this is, I don't know if it's the same company, but the lid works. But they made a nice little innovation. So rather than have the whisker in the blender bottle, so there's no whisker, it's got like a little screen. So you put your protein powder in here. You put this lid on, and then when you shake it up, this screen catches the clumps. Fucking genius, right? So now what I do is, I put my 2 scoops of protein in here. I just shake it. Whatever clumps catches at the top, I drink it. It seals. It's amazing. And I don't even know what it cost again. These are probably like $15. I don't know. I just need a new protein bottle in Paris. So I just bought them because I don't care. It has a little thing for supplements. And then it has a little thing for your protein, right? So you can put protein, and this thing actually comes out. So you can either separate your supplements, or you can put in more protein or whatever you want to put in here. What an innovation, right? Some guy invented it. Why didn't I invent it? Why didn't you invent it? Wow, look at that light just came in. Nice. So that's how you got to think, guys. You just got to think, if something is annoying you about the world, don't be annoyed. Think, okay, how can I solve it? Because that's where this whole I'm special thing really fucks with you in an unconscious way and you don't realize it. If you think you're special, you're like, well, I got a problem. I'm the only person in the world who has this problem. You don't. You're not special. I'm not special. I'm a pretty fucking cool guy, but in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. You're not that big of a deal. Nobody is really that big of a deal. If we're lucky, a few people will like us while we live. Maybe a couple people will remember us when we die, but we're not Achilles. And that's cool, because when you think like that, you realize if you don't like something, there's probably a lot of other people with that problem. Solve it for them. So anyway, now that I have this light, I realize, like, man, I need a haircut bad. All right, what are we going to talk about? You got a bunch of questions. One of them was distractions. So maybe we'll talk about how to deal with distractions. Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. One is maybe you're not destined for greatness. Maybe you're destined for mediocrity, and the reason you're distracted is because you don't want more out of life. And if that's the case, what can you do? I wrote a post a while ago, and it was based on a talk given by, I think, Earl Nightingale. Either Earl Nightingale or Napoleon Hill. I can't remember. I confuse those guys. And it was called the Saddest Secret in the World. And the saddest secret in the world was, whatever it is you're doing is what you want to do. And for a lot of people, right, that's sad. You're wasting your time because that's how you want to spend your time. You're fucking around and you're not serious about life because you're a fucker offer. And you're not serious about life. That's just the thing. The distractions aren't keeping you from living your life vision, because that's what we want to think. Like, oh, if I weren't distracted, boy, I'd fucking go attack life and I would live life on my terms. Maybe. Or maybe the secret that you're keeping from yourself, and it's a sad one, is that you're not destined for anything. You're just destined for mediocrity. Maybe. I don't know. Ask yourself that. Because whatever it is you're doing might be what you want to do. I don't know. That's kind of sad. Now, the other side of that is sometimes we just don't want to do things because they're hard to do, right? And we need tactics on how to deal with it. I like to write. I hate editing. Fucking hate editing. Hate it so much. That's why I like to spend time at Danger Play and the Twitter stuff, and rather than writing books. Because you write a book, you got to edit and edit and edit. And you guys are saying there's still grammatical errors. Guys, I spent like $3 or $4 grand getting that thing edited. So I don't know if you're reading an older version or what. Maybe I got to get edited again. But I don't like editing. So how do you deal with that? Well, to realize my vision. So how can you do that? How can you realize your vision? Well, the way you do that and the way you deal with distractions Amazon. I could put an affiliate link in there, but I'm not going to go through the hassle to get a fucking affiliate commission on an egg timer. You get a $3 egg timer. 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. 25 minutes on means that's it. Turn off your Wi-Fi, turn off all your gadgets, go into a quiet room, put on headphones, do whatever it is you have to do. Work for 25 minutes. When the thing when it bings, okay, great. 5 minutes. Fuck around. When you fuck around, do whatever you want. Maybe you want to change the intervals to 25-10 or 35-10, 45-10. It's not up to me to tell you. Find the right interval. But the idea is you're telling your reward system in your brain, okay, if I just work for 25 minutes, then I can go, text message girls and play Tinder and, I don't know, look at porn, whatever it is people do these days. And that's right. You reward yourself. Work, reward, work, reward. Now what happens is a lot of times if you're doing what you like to do, is you hit a flow state. And then the intervals get longer and longer and longer where all you want to do is work. And then you'll get to the point where, here's the problem I have is, and I'll probably do a whole video on this, how to check back into your body. So the other day I was at the coffee shop and I was editing an article, I was writing some stuff, and when I get in the zone, I get so much in the zone. And so in my brain, and I become one with my computer. I'm not a pianist, but sometimes it feels that way. I'm just like, dun, 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 dun. The fucking just into it like a musician. And I went to stand up, and fortunately Shauna was with me. I felt she had to brace me. I fell back. She had to put her hands up. I almost fell down because I was so inside of my head because I was in such a flow state, and it was an intellectual creative state that I wasn't even aware of my body. I was completely checked out of my body. So that's kind of what happens. But to get there and to get in that flow state, you got to find a way to do what it is you want to do, right? That's another challenge, and that's where lifestyle design comes in. If you're doing what you don't want to do, it's hard not to procrastinate, right? If you're doing what you don't want to do, then you want to go do something else. If you gave me, even for money, and I didn't want to do it, I would find 100 reasons not to. I'd clean my apartment, or I don't know, I would do 100 different things because that isn't really what I want to do. And that's where you want to look into lifestyle design too, right? If you're procrastinating, maybe it's because you're supposed to do something that you don't want to do. Maybe you need to find a way to quit that, or find a way to do what it is you want to do. And then that goes back to the video, how do you find your life purpose? Well, how do you know what it is you want to do? Do a lot of stuff. And if you're doing something and you're procrastinating, you want to analyze, well, why am I procrastinating? It might be you just don't want to do it, right? It might be that no matter if you finish it, you don't want to do it, or it might just be because it's tedious. For example, with Gorilla Mindset, I'm like, God, I don't want to work on that today. Well, I want the book out, for sure, but it was just tedious. Editing is fucking tedious. Rewriting shit is tedious. Organizing, moving blocks of text, it isn't fun. How do you do it if you want to do something, okay? So think of it again. We're at like a fork in the road. One fork in the road is you're procrastinating because you don't really want to do what it is you're supposed to do. Well, that's where the lifestyle design comes in. That's where you want to figure out what it is you want to do. That's where you want to minimize your obligations. You know, if you're working a job you don't want to do and you're procrastinating, you don't go out and buy a $400 iPhone, right? That's how you want to think. So that's one fork. The next fork is you actually want to do what it is, but the bigger picture is it's tedious. So you got to look at the bigger picture. So how do you do that? State control, the mood control, the stuff that we talked about in Gorilla Mindset. You want to return to the feeling of triumph. And to do that, you have to capture the moment. Capture the moment is, how did I feel when X happened? And X could be anything. Your first kiss, you won a spelling bee as a kid, you won a wrestling match. Could be big. You're an Olympic gold medalist, you made $1 million, your company IPO'd. Not for me to say. Could be the first time you had sex. I don't know. The point is, though, you want to figure out where it was and that you felt good and you felt triumphant and you really felt like you're fucking winning. You capture that moment and then you recreate it. So I know what it feels like to have a certain amount of success. And I know how to feel it, and I captured that moment. So then when I didn't want to work at editing or working on Gorilla Mindset, or I didn't want to do this, I would just recreate that feeling. And then I tell myself, after I recreate the feeling, is what I'm doing in the present moment going to bring me closer to that feeling, closer to that moment, right? Choices in the present moment, vision, focus, state. See why this is Gorilla Mindset Part 2? See why all these videos come together? And I don't even fucking know that I'm going to talk about this. This is all extemporaneous, guys. I don't even fucking do my hair. See how everything's connecting. And everything should be connecting perfectly. So you have a vision for your life. You have focus. But you still, when you're grinding away, you do have to have that state control stuff. And you just got to say, okay. And then you recreate how you felt. You felt triumphant, you felt great, you felt amazing, you felt accomplished, you felt like you had purpose in your life, you felt like you had meaning, you felt like what you did mattered. Okay, feel that way. When you're fucking grinding away and you don't want to work anymore and you're procrastinating, just stop, pause, recreate that moment, that captured moment. And then what you're going to say is, well, okay. And then you say to yourself in the present moment, do I want to feel that way again? Do I want to have those kind of achievements? Do I want to have those kind of successes? Is that how I see my life going? Is that what I see myself accomplishing? And when you do that, then you don't even care about the grinding stuff anymore. I grind away all the time now, and I don't even care. I used to be annoyed by anything. Wi-Fi is too slow, can't connect, the fucking thing, the software is not updating. Today I couldn't get my watch to sync. Yeah, I would just get angry about everything. You know, WordPress stuff, you're always going to have tech issues, and it would really get to me. But then I realized I'm focusing on just trivial, tedious things rather than focusing on my vision, focusing how I could feel by capturing that moment and recreating it with the mindset exercises and Gorilla Mindset. And then I focus more on my choices, and then you're always self-talk, right? Self-talk, choices, emotions, states, vision, focus. Self-talk is, am I doing X in the present moment? Is that going to bring me closer to feeling the way I want to feel, to accomplishing what I accomplish? And then when you do that, you're like, well, no, I'm not. This stuff that I'm doing right now. And sometimes you do. Sometimes a procrastination is just rest. You know, when I get a massage or I just put the computer, sometimes like yesterday, I just went to the mall and just walked around because I was, like I said, I fell down. I was so checked out of my body, I didn't even know where I was. Yeah. So if I'm at the mall just walking around looking at Rolexes and shit, I'm not procrastinating. I'm giving my body needed rest. But you got to learn the difference, right? If you feel like, oh fuck, dude, I'm about to fall down here, I'm about to collapse. Well, yeah, then you need to take a rest, but that's not procrastination, because rest and relaxation and finding outlets is part of success. So that's how you get over procrastination, guys. You got to find a moment in your life where you felt the way you want to feel all the time. capture that moment, recreate it, do the state control exercises. I'm not going to tell them here again. There's a podcast on it, and there's Gorilla Mindset, and there's an audiobook. So we're not going to redo that. And then find your focus, find your vision, which we talked about yesterday, and then use that self-talk to ask yourself in the present moment, are the choices I'm making, are the activities I'm engaging in, are the people I'm spending my time with going to bring me closer to feeling the way that I want to feel and achieving what I want to achieve? If not, then you change it. But you got to find it first. So there you go. That's how to end procrastination. Keep asking questions. Don't procrastinate about whatever it is you want to do. Find your vision. Life isn't a dress rehearsal. We got one life. Even if you believe in the afterlife, you got one life here. That's this. Even if you believe in reincarnation, you got one life in this current body. Make the most of it. Keep asking your questions, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Oh yeah, Mike Cernovich, Danger and Play, Gorilla Mindset. Now, I'll talk to you tomorrow.